The year, 3008. United Intergalactic Federation Police Cruiser, number 308, the Infinity. On the last leg of a 7-year mission, en route to traffic station number 28, where they are to police the transgalactic corridor. Meet the crew: Captain Cornelius Butt, Sergeant Thor, Buzz, Maurice, Sam Lowe, and Galaxina. Prime grade robot class, number 11. The onboard android, in charge of the everyday running of the ship. Also on board, being held prisoner in the brig, a rock eater, aka not Danny DeVito. Whilst on routine space patrol, they lay in wait for any signs of unusual activity in their sector. A suspicious-looking bird-like craft passes by, prompting an immediate pursuit. As they engage in the chase, the ship's computer flags the craft as unknown. Buzz, the pilot, excited by the prospect of a chase, eagerly suggests that they turn on the lights and siren. Sergeant Thor, unimpressed by this stupidity, retorts, "Asshole. Don't you know that in space
Nobody can hear your siren?"
They establish contact with the alien ship. A holographic projection materializes, revealing a peculiar-looking being who identifies himself as Ordric. He provides them his origin and claims to be on a peaceful mission, before abruptly terminating the communication, leaving Buzz angered and puzzled by the encounter. The captain arrives on the bridge and immediately reopens contact with Ordric, demanding clarity regarding his mission. Ordric swiftly terminates the communication again, and his vessel accelerates away. The Infinity swiftly follows. The bird-like ship abruptly turns to confront them, launching an aggressive assault. Battle ensues, with laser fire exchanged between the two vessels. Despite their valiant efforts, the Infinity's shield takes a fatal hit, leaving them incapacitated and defenseless. Remarkably, Ordric's ship refrains from delivering a final blow, opting instead to spare them before departing. Whilst repairs are underway, the captain heads to the brig to visit their captive. After torturing the poor prisoner with a barrage of terrible jokes, he decides to feed his hungry guest. Sergeant Thor orders Buzz down to the power tunnel to see how repairs are going. "Repairs will be finished by morning," says an angry Maurice. Sam proceeds to dispense some unwanted stoned-out proverbs, which Buzz decides is his cue to leave. At the dining table, the captain, Sergeant Thor, and Buzz convene for dinner. Galaxina serves their meal, neatly packed into pill form. Mesmerized, Thor admires Galaxina and impulsively reaches out to touch her, only to be met with a shocking jolt of electricity as a result. The captain isn't amused by his second-in-command's behavior. Observing Buzz holding an unusual egg purportedly found among the rock eater's belongings, the captain is intrigued. "Give me that," he says. And disregarding his crew's warnings, decides to consume it. With a crack, he empties its contents into a glass and gulps it down. Within moments, he begins convulsing violently, prompting Thor and Buzz to intervene. They decide to beat him up, until the captain eventually coughs up a tiny alien creature. The diminutive being scurries across the dinner table and swiftly exits the room, leaving the crew bewildered. Galaxina enters the power tunnel to deliver dinner to the rest of the crew. During the meal, Sam accidentally spills some wine, causing his pill to transform into a full-sized roast chicken, much to Morris's disgust. Thor pays a visit to Galaxina and, expressing his affection for her, attempts to kiss her. Galaxina backs away, knowing what will happen if he does. Ignoring the danger, he kisses her anyway, only to receive a powerful electric shock in return. "It was worth it," he murmurs, as he collapses to the floor. An urgent communication is received from command. Alexia appears on the hologram, and taking pity on them for being in space for such an extended period of time, gives Buzz and Thor a little unexpected treat. The captain, roused from a nap, witnesses this immoral display.
"Quivering Venusian blubber cups!"
he exclaims in disgust. Commander Garrity appears on the hologram and issues a directive for a mission of utmost importance. They must go to Altair 1, a journey that will take them 27 years, with the objective of locating and obtaining the Blue Star. They glance around, confused by the unexpected sound. The commander goes on to explain the significance of the blue star. They look around, still confused. He continues, and tells them that the precious gem within is imbued with the energy of stars and is capable of revolutionizing the civilized sectors of the galaxy. In view of the arduous journey ahead, the commander authorizes a 24-hour furlough on the wreck station. The crew's morale soars upon hearing this, and their spirits are lifted. They arrive at Kitty's, where they are warmly greeted by Madame Kitty herself. Her eyes sparkle with delight when she sees they brought some Earth Cola, as tender as Earth yen has become much too unstable on the galactic market. They mingle and revel in the atmosphere. Buzz meets a nice blue lady.
This is good shit.
The captain is drawn to a mysterious beauty and takes the necessary precautions. Sam finds more than he can handle. After a good time has been had by all, they reluctantly bid farewell to Kitty's establishment. Madame Kitty shares some parting words with Captain Butt. "Next time you pass my house, I'll appreciate it," she says. "I've had a wonderful time, but it wasn't tonight," the captain replies. Galaxina observes from the ship, silently monitoring their departure. With fond farewells exchanged, the crew departs. Galaxina ponders their emotional goodbyes. Realizing the stark contrast between her and real women, she sheds a solitary tear. The crew are now in their cryo chambers for the long journey ahead. Through the door, the once tiny alien reappears, now noticeably larger. It approaches Captain Butt's chamber, driven by an instinctual urge to be with what it perceives as mother. Fumbling with the controls, the little alien attempts to access the chamber. A series of gases release from the rear of the tube, but the chamber remains sealed shut. The little alien retreats, disheartened by its failed attempt, its departure tinged with a sense of longing and disappointment. Galaxina makes regular visits to Thor's cryo tube, a silent companion amidst the vast expanse of space. Over the passing years, she immerses herself in the study of humanity, delving deep into the intricacies of human behavior and emotion. With the passing of time, she reprograms herself, integrating newfound knowledge, with the goal of becoming more human. She unlocks the ability to communicate verbally, slowly evolving into a more sentient being. Upon reaching Altair 1, Galaxina opens Thor's cryo tube, and they share a fleeting moment of connection, before she proceeds to rouse the remaining members of the crew from their sleep. The captain emerges from his tube, sporting a massive head of hair and huge bushy beard, clearly having aged during the long sleep, no doubt from the little alien having tampered with the cryo controls. Galaxina interrupts Thor as he exercises, startling him. He quickly realizes that she touched him, but he wasn't electrocuted. She speaks to him, revealing her feelings of affection and love. He's amazed that she can talk now. They kiss. On the approach to the planet, they are once again attacked by the bird-like ship, receiving a direct hit, causing them to make a rough landing on the planet. The crew's voices all unite in a collective cry of whiplash.
Whiplash! Oh, whiplash!
While the crew recuperates from their injuries, Galaxina ventures out alone. The planet has a strange look during sunup. Bathed in an eerie glow, its landscape transforms from the abundance of infrared rays, creating a surreal and captivating scene. Arriving in a dusty town reminiscent of an old western settlement, Galaxina finds herself amidst a motley crew of unsavory characters. Established as a penal colony ages ago, it has morphed into a refuge for the galaxy's most nefarious individuals, attracting troublemakers from all corners of the cosmos. She steps into the saloon-human restaurant, to be greeted with a diverse scene, populated with various alien species. Humans are present, but only on the menu. A chilling realization as she takes in the nightmarish array of dishes offered. She asks the bartender, not Spock, if he knows of Frank Future. "Ah yes, I remember him."
He was delicious.
He informs Galaxina that she's welcome to investigate Future's room upstairs. She enters the room, hoping to find a clue so she can complete the mission, when the door suddenly closes behind her, revealing Ordric aiming his blaster at her. Caught off guard, she lays her weapon down. She tells him to take off his mask and show her his face.
This is my face.
Galaxina sees the mission objective laying on the bed. Ordric says that the blue star...
What's that? Who's here? The blue star. What is this shit?
He continues, saying that it's his, and that with it, he will control the galaxy. Galaxina cunningly tricks Ordric into allowing her to touch and hold the precious object.
Touch it, if you will. Ordric does not know fear. Hold it, if it will give you satisfaction.
She climbs onto the bed and begins turning around and around, disrupting Ordric's gyros. With his defenses weakened, she bashes him over the head, incapacitating him, then flees the scene. She makes her way out of the establishment. The locals in the street begin to scatter as Ordric smashes through the upstairs window and jumps down into the street, cutting off Galaxina's escape. They have a spaghetti western-style showdown. They slowly back away from one another, creating distance between them. The street deserted, they stand apart sizing each other up. Their eyes locked in a tense standoff, the intensity building as they wait for the first shot. Minds alert and trigger fingers at the ready. Neither one of them wanting to make the first move. Breaking glass and Ordric takes his shot, missing Galaxina. She returns fire, hitting her target. Ordric lays there defeated, no match for Galaxina's superior skill with a weapon. An armed gang rides into town, riding up behind Galaxina, catching her off guard. Outnumbered, she surrenders. Back on the ship, the crew worry about Galaxina as it's been some time since she left. Removing their neck braces, Thor and Buzz decide to head out and find her. As night falls, the planet's landscape takes on a more familiar appearance, resembling Earth under the cover of darkness. Meanwhile, Galaxina finds herself in the clutches of a leather-clad gang of thugs who worship the enigmatic deity known as
Ali, David, son.
The gang leader addresses his followers, his voice booming with conviction, proclaiming, with the power of this blue star, They look around in confusion. Undeterred, he continues, with this key to great wealth, we can rule the galaxy. We shall sacrifice this sinner
To the great hog in the sky, Ali, David, son.
His voice rises with fervor, and we shall take this blue star. Everyone is confused, as they look around in disbelief. Rallying his followers, he screams maniacally, we shall rule the whole damned universe. Back in town,
Oh, I tell you, I sure am hungry.
Thor and Buzz enter the saloon. Looking around, they quickly realize this is not their kind of place. Sunrise. Galaxina remains captive, feeling hopeless, when suddenly, Thor and Buzz appear to attempt a daring rescue. They manage to free her, reclaim the precious gem, and make a daring escape on the gang's object of worship.
They've stolen our lord!
Screams the gang leader, inciting a frantic pursuit. One of the gang members aims his weapon.
Don't shoot! It may hit the lord.
After a tense pursuit, across the dusty land, the Lord sputters and runs out of fuel, forcing the crew to continue to the ship on foot. The gang, so pleased to have their beloved Lord back, cease their chase and immediately drop to their knees in worship. Back safely on board, with the gemstone in hand, they head to the bridge, where they find the rest of the crew being held at gunpoint by Ordric, now sporting comical bandages on his head and arm. With authority in his voice, he demands they give him the blue star. They all look around for the source of the mysterious music.
What is this shit?
He then orders them to set course for his home planet. They comply, and he imprisons them all in the brig. Meanwhile, back on the bridge, Ordric occupies himself by watching television to pass the time. Suddenly, hearing a noise, he turns around, but sees nothing. In the brig, the crew has turned in for the night. Back on the bridge, the little alien stealthily approaches the chair from behind, its presence unnoticed by the unsuspecting Ordric. While the others sleep, Galaxina and Thor talk of their hopes and aspirations for their future together. Ordric, hearing something again, is looking around. Satisfied that he's alone, he gingerly sits back down in the chair, but springs back out of it screaming, with his britches chewed off and sparks flying from his rear end. The little alien arrives back at the brig with the keys. The crew awakens and free themselves. Returning to the bridge, they find Ordric in pieces. They celebrate and congratulate themselves. The Rock Eater eats the blue star. Damn it! After that, they head home. The end. Yeah, it's a silly film, but you might like it.